stretchy stir.
Yeah. So the last thing we went over was a little bit of opening the wrist, but what's important is you sprinkle in a little bit of strength work. And we can go over down the road some other ways to load this up a little bit more. But again, I want you guys to start simple, high repetition, low intensity, and then we can load it up. So I like to start off with some wrist push-ups here, starting off with a nice straight elbow and a firm fist. And you're just going to actively lower that wrist down to the floor. Now, I like to start off with just some single reps here as opposed to doing them both at the same time. Allows you a little bit more control over one side, and if you got some shaky wrists that need a little bit more strength, you want to give them some time to gather up that strength, and getting some good leverage is a real important piece. Okay, so that's what I would call a wrist push-up, kind of a level 1 variation. And then I'd move back to my hands on the floor here, on the bed of the truck, and I'm going to be running through a knuckle push-up. And you start to see a lot more about what type of access you do or you don't have. And from there, same idea with the straight elbows. You're going to drive through the knuckles and try to get nice and high there. And you'll notice, again, I'm just slowly moving in either direction so I can explore and just gradually increase the pressure as necessary. Just gathering these up, driving through the knuckles and laying them back down. And then switching it up, you guys of course can do this with your fingers any way you like. I usually splay them out because a lot of this stuff kind of translates into some handstand work where you're going to need to grip. This one I would call a fingertip push-up. You want to drive through the fingertips here. Don't worry about keeping all of your fingers on the ground. Won't exactly work like that. But same idea, you're just going to press through the fingertips, try to create a nice straight line from that fingertip up to the shoulder, layer it back down. And now we're kind of working through that wrist with a nice straight open palm. Just gathering back and forth and working those. And then just the last little piece, working the lateral aspect of the wrist. I'll go back to that fist position, and then I'm going to practice rolling forward, putting some pressure on that one side, and then rolling backwards. And this is where you can start to drop the elbow. And then same idea, alternating back and forth, just hitting all those corners of the wrist and just practicing distributing an amount of load that you can handle. Again, start off with some higher repetition work just so you get used to it, and then we can always explore some other strategies down the road. So